about this over and over again, and obviously keep putting the pressure on government and things like that to do something about this, because it's something that is very prevalent at the moment in Cavan. And I'm happy that it's in the news, and I'm happy that we're pushing the issue more or less. Because I keep just banging on the politicians about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And obviously it's a volunteer dog warden. That's Cavan's only volunteer dog warden. Basically volunteer and putting myself at risk because you can get diseases of dog shit. Apologies for my language, but you can get diseases and it's not good for young people. Young people are more likely to get it. So again, I can have more of a say in what this is about and everything like that, because I do it, and I'm putting myself at risk. I don't want to seem like I'm on high pedestal or anything like that, but it's just saying it straight. So politicians talking about it, they haven't got a clue. But yeah, there's such a big talk in Cavan at the moment, but because there's so many people out walking out with the lockdown, going out bringing their dogs for a walk, going cycling, things like that. And there's forests around Cavan, Killikeen, for example, out near Farnham, about Tobit, Castle Saunders, I think about Tobit. Basically just full up with dog shit and might taste right. Now, so obviously we could say, find them and things like that. That's easily said to done. Most of the straight. The same as the little fines. The majority of people don't pay them. There's no manpower there to chase them up. And again, if it goes to court, and I say this straight to people, when it does go to court, unless you have very strong evidence, because really saying it is not really any good, because you have to have video evidence. It means nothing to just say it. It's basically, it depends on the judge. Again, it depends if the judge thinks you're honest, but again, it's not really classed as evidence. But again, we need to redouble our efforts. We need to redouble our efforts, because there's such an acceptancy in the community, and I know this from my own community, that they don't want to squeal on the people not picking up after the dog. And this is the thing, because again, as I said to one person one day that said I wouldn't want to say anything because I asked them, because it happened just walking by. It was on Willie was just outside the door of the property, which was on the main road. And I just asked him, why is that piece of dog shit there? Just curious why it was there in front of her yard. And she said, I'm not telling you. And I said, I more or less said, that's fine. I picked it up anyway, but at the same time, I'm sure she knew. I'm sure she knew who done it. I'm sure she's not that blind. Let's say straight. But again, it's that thing of kind of just saying, oh, this is normal. But again, young people, if it goes into your eyes, dog shit, it can blind you. Really can blind you. If a young person, especially young children are curious, for example. This happened in one state in America. A child of 3 years old, happened just to crawl over to a bit of dog shit and put it into their face and put it into their eyes, and to cause them to be blind forever. Again, we have to try and avoid that. We have to protect our young people, because again, there's diseases of it. It's particularly bad in young people, and it's not good when you walk into the footpaths and things like that. It's not decent. You might as well say straight. So we need to tackle it at an early stage. And again, we need the government. We can't. Local authorities really can't do anything. The law is very, very, very vague. On what can be done. I might say straight. I can tell you that as somebody who knows about this section. As I say, judges, it depends on the judge if it goes to court, because the majority of the time it does go to court, because people just refuse to pay the fine, and it takes forever then to go to court. So it's just an utter clusterfuck, I might say straight. But we need action, and as one person said to me, and as I was complaining one time about it, it's the good people who pick up after the dog, and don't cause any hassle, but the people who keep doing it, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. There was one county council in Cavan said, we should have more dog bins along roads and things like that. But at the same time, and this is the thing too, as that one person said to me, it's only the good people, the majority of people do bring the dog poo home. They don't put it into a bin or anything like that. And they're the good people. They bring it back. They bring it home. But again, majority of the dog bins don't really get used. The meditation they don't really get used, because the good people bring it home with them, and the people who don't pick up after them just leave it there. But again, this is the thing I would say. I know it's probably a bit harsh, and this is harsh probably saying this, but if they take away the dog license, the magistrate and refuse to let them have a dog, because there's some people that's just, and I know 2 or 3 people, for example, that I've been trying very hard. Especially one of them, are trying very hard to prosecute them. It's like bang your head against the wall because I haven't got anything ready. I'm 100% positive that they're up to, this shenanigan. But there's nothing to prove it. There's no really evidence behind it. I can say, because again, I'm 100% sure, and I wouldn't be saying it if I wasn't 100% so sure. But there's no evidence. There's no physical evidence. No, because again, unless you had the dog tested, or whatever, you wouldn't be able to. Like, because this area has no camera, but she's, this person's the only one with the dog going down there. If that makes any sense, she's the only one going there. So, you know, most logically, and as the neighbour people said to me, that's the only dog that goes around there, and happens just to be dog shit every day there. So if you put two and two together, and if you put you basically, there's not really much else that could be said about it. But again, it's no physical evidence. There's no, like, if somebody's seen it, because again, judges don't really take that into account sometimes. But there's no cameras and things like that. But it's just a mess. It's just a mess. You think somebody would just have some. You think some people would just have some decency. But the only way to get these people to listen is to take away the dog license, take away the dog, and put it into the pound. And that's the way. It's a harsh system, but again, it's the best way of just teaching them some manners. So that's, again, this is the thing. And this is the word everybody hears me saying. It's a small bit of respect and a small bit of manners. Because again, I don't understand these people. Like even my own local town here. As I said, it was the dog one here. There's people that live in this town, that have children in this town. And they will go out of their way to let the dog shit in the footpath and things like that. And their children could be walking down from school. Again, you have to question. You really have to question what these people are. What are they smoking? Might as well tell you straight. There must be like a good friend Paul on the drink all the time. Again, you understand. I'm sure people understand. But again, I'd say to people, as I say to you, to challenge these. If you have a camera and you happen to see somebody, letting the dog, video it. And again, if you want to put it up online, that's probably the best way of doing it, is to shame them into to do it. Or even just to confront them, because again, this is something I would do a lot. The majority of the time, if I see somebody, I would confront them. I would say straight, and I wouldn't let them move. I might say straight. Wouldn't let them move. I would basically force them into it. I wouldn't let them go anywhere until they picked it up. And that's happened many times before. I wouldn't let them move until they picked it up, so that they couldn't go left, they couldn't go right, and they couldn't go centre, because I wouldn't let them. I refused to let them. And they wouldn't give me a reasonable excuse why I would let let them go. Like if they had a back problem, I would have said that's totally fine. I go and pick it up myself, and that's 100%. But again, these people won't. They don't take the answer to anybody, even with somebody in the local towers. They don't take the answer. They don't take the sea it's wrong. But again, this is society. Again, this is the bad thing, as they say, humans are the destruction of themselves. And that's true. That's really, really true. That humans cause more hassle than anything else on the planet, to be honest with you. But yeah, take care, everybody. We'll see what comes of it, and hopefully the government brings in an all-Ireland heavier ban, and hopefully heavy enforcement. Because again, there's only one whole, full-on dog warden in Cavan. And I don't even know, I think he only works a few days a week, 3-4 days a week. He doesn't work 5 days, I think he works 4. As far as I'm aware, again, I talk to him every once in a while. Obviously I keep in touch with the waste management section in Cavan County Council. But I basically work with my own devices. In other words, I don't really, unless I really, really need to contact them about somebody or anything like that, that's the only time I really get in touch with them about these things. But hopefully, because I have sent off a few things, and I know, for example, somebody did contact me. Actually, no, I seen it on Facebook when I said I get involved in it. But I might talk about it soon. It's about dog bins and what the dog bins in the town. So I'm working with the local authorities and that, and we'll see where it goes from there. I might talk about it if no answer comes. I question them. But so yeah, take care, everybody, and bye.